Hello everyone, this is Elspeth from the Planeswalker Pantheon, and today we're going to be opening 53 packs of Magic the Gathering's latest set, War of the Spark. This is on MTG Arena, as you can probably tell. I've gotten these 53 packs because of the pre-order bundle that was available before the release, which allowed me 50 packs, a copy of Liliana Dreadhorde General, the Liliana Dreadhorde General card style, and the card sleeve for the set. Then the last three packs were from the code Spark, spelled play with a capital P, war with a capital W, and spark with a capital S, and that will give you the extra three packs. So I'm going to be opening up these 53 packs for you guys. So let's just get to it. Alright, first pack. As you notice here, the packs won't have a guaranteed Planeswalker in them. They did mention that in a release note for this set, so just be aware. That's something just to be aware of. Our first rare is Parhelion 2. So for 6 white, you get a legendary artifact vehicle, flying, first strike, and vigilance. It's a 5/5. Whenever Parhelion 2 attacks, create 2 4/4 white angel tokens with flying and vigilance that are attacking, and it accrues for 4. Obnixilis is pretty sweet. Alright, I've got a common wild card. Let's see, our next rare. Living Twister. So for 2 red and a green, you get a creature elemental. It's a 2/5. So for 1 red, discard a land card. Living Twister does 2 damage to any target. And for green, you return a tapped land you control to its owner's hand. Next pack. Ruben's Conjurer, an uncommon wild card. Grim Initiate seems pretty good, I think, from what I read, maybe. And a rare. Solar Blaze. So for 2, a red and a white, it's a sorcery. Each creature deals damage to itself equal to its power. Really interesting that a lot of the Boros angels, like Aurelia and Feather, actually have odd lower power to toughness. So it actually allows it to work with Solar Blaze. That's something to consider. Common wild card. Our rare. Finale of Glory. It's our first mythic. So for X and white, it's a sorcery. Create X/2/2 white soldier creature tokens with vigilance. If X is 10 or more, also create X/4/4 white angel tokens with flying and vigilance. This is really cool. People are saying that if X is 10 or more, it should be called If X is going to Give It to You. Which I kind of appreciate that from Magic Mike's. Ooh, 2 Planeswalkers in this. Sometimes this can happen because there is no necessarily a guarantee of a Planeswalker in each pack, but sometimes you get lucky and you just swing 2 in the uncommon slot. Just another note, if you do competitive drafts of this set on MTG Arena, you will get the 1 guaranteed Planeswalker per pack. That is something to keep in mind. But if you're just opening packs like this, you're not guaranteed the 1 Planeswalker per pack. Our rare is God Eternal Aketra. It's actually a mythic. It's really hard to tell the difference between the colours sometimes. So for 3 white, you get a legendary creature Zombie God. It's a 3/6 with double strike. Whenever you cast a creature spell, create a 4/4 black zombie warrior token with vigilance. When God Eternal Aketra dies or is put into exile from the battlefield, you may put it into its owner's library, 3rd from the top. It's going to be a pain in the rear end to deal with in Limited. I had in my pre-release all the best removal we can think of in black and white, and none of it could deal with the gods. Our next rare, the Elder Spell. So for 2 black, you get a sorcery. Destroy any number of target Planeswalkers. Choose a Planeswalker you control. Put 2 loyalty counters on it for each Planeswalker destroyed this way. Next one. Alright. Next rare. Gideon Blackblade. So for 1 and 2 white, you get a legendary Planeswalker Gideon. Rest in peace, Beef Slab. As long as it's your turn, Gideon Blackblade is a 4/4 human soldier creature with indestructible that's still a Planeswalker. Prevent all damage that would be dealt to Gideon Blackblade during your turn. He has 4 loyalty. For his +1, up to 1 other target creature you control gains your choice of Vigilance, Lifelink, or Indestructible until the end of turn. And for -6, exile target non-land permanent. Our next rare. Jace, Wielder of Mysteries. So for 1 and triple blue, get a legendary Planeswalker Jace. Jace has 4 loyalty. If you draw a card while your library has no cards in it, you win the game instead. +1, target player puts the top 2 cards of their library into their graveyard. You draw a card. -8, draw 7 cards. Then if your library has no cards in it, you win the game. The reason why that one's worded in that specific way is so that it allows you to ultimate it, it kills Jace, and you still get the win the game clause. So that's why it's worded in that particular manner. Mawoo! Our next rare. I'm going to common and uncommon wild card with that as well. Nicol Bolas Dragon God. So for blue, black, and a red, you get a legendary Planeswalker Bolas who has 4 loyalty. Nicol Bolas Dragon God has all loyalty abilities of all other Planeswalkers on the battlefield. He has 3 abilities. +1, you draw a card. Each opponent exiles a card from their hand or a permanent they control. -3, destroy target creature or Planeswalker. -8, each opponent who doesn't control a legendary creature or Planeswalker loses the game. Ooh-wee. Next. I'm not a fan of this new Johnny's Pridemate art. I'm an old school Soul Sisters player at heart and I like the old art. It makes me sad. But I'm happy that it's got the new updated text. So I guess that's a thing. Next rare. Awakening of Vitu-Ghazi. So for 3 green, it's an instant. Put 9 +1/+1 counters on target land you control. It becomes a legendary 0/0 elemental creature with haste, named Vitu-Ghazi. It's still a land. This will kill people in limited, I think. Just do it at the end of turn. We got a Vraska. And our next rare. Tomic Distinguished Advocate. So for 2 white, you get a legendary creature, Human Advisor. He has flying. He's a 2/3. Lands on the battlefield and lands in graveyards can't be the target of spells or abilities your opponents control. Your opponents can't play lands from graveyards. I think this will be very good in Legacy, where cards like Wasteland and Richard and Port exist. And it helps out in Modern with Life from Alone, against Life from Alone. Next. Go to Senate. And next rare. Casualties of War. So for 2 black, green, you get a sorcery. Choose 1 or more. Destroy target artifact, destroy target creature, destroy target enchantment, destroy target land, destroy target planeswalker. This is different to Decimate, where you don't necessarily need targets for everything. You can pick and choose how you want to do it. It slices and dices with Julian fries. Next. This is very good. Our next rare. Command the Dreadhorde. So for 4 black, get a sorcery. Choose any number of target creature and or planeswalker cards in graveyard. Command the Dreadhorde deals damage to you equal to the total converted mana cost of those cards. Put them onto the battlefield under your control. Little note, if you are playing this and you happen to have access to the Wanderer in play, you will take no damage from Command the Dreadhorde at all, because it is non-combat damage. So a little idea for you guys who might want to brew. We've got a Huatli. Alright. Boom. Mythic Rare Wildcard. And no Chandra didn't kill Dovin, she blinded him. There's a note for story reasons. Next rare. Got another Tomic. Nice. Got a Jaya. Next rare. Mizium Tank. So for 1 red, you get an artifact vehicle with trample. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, Mizium Tank becomes an artifact creature and gets +1 and +1 until end of turn. And you can just crew it for 1. Non-creature spell, basically prowess, very, very relevant because it keys off your planeswalkers, keys off anything that's a non-creature. But the fact that it keys off planeswalkers is very important. Rouse Outburst is very good. They've reprinted Devour. Our next rare. God Eternal Kefnet. So for 2 blue, you get a legendary creature zombie god. It's a 4/5 with flying. You may reveal the first card you draw each turn as you draw it. Whenever you reveal an instant or sorcery card this way, copy that card and you may cast the copy. That copy costs 2 less to cast. And it has the god clause of putting it 3rd from the top whenever it dies or is put into exile. Next. This is very good removal. I think you might see standard play. Yeah, it's 3 mana. We might have better removal at 3, but the fact that it's -5, and exile is really good. Commence the endgame. So for 4 blue, you get an instant. This spell can't be countered. Draw 2 cards and amass X, where X is the number of cards in your hand. Very, very good. I love this artwork from Hardline. Anyways, our next rare. Ignite the Beacon. So for 4 and a white, you get an instant. Search your library for up to 2 Planeswalker cards. Reveal them, put them into your hand, then shuffle your library. Rare wild card. Neo form, I think, is going to be very good in any sort of Vanifar deck, as copies 4 through 8 of Vanifar. Our next rare. Feather the Redeemed. So for red, white, you get a legendary creature Angel, which is a 3/4 with flying. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell that targets a creature you control, exile that card instead of putting it into your graveyard as it resolves. If you do, return it to your hand at the beginning of the next end step. This actually interacts very well with spells with flashback, as if you cast a spell with flashback. I'm just reading it to make sure I'm giving the correct wording. If you cast it with flashback, it's a replacement effect, so you pick the replacement effect that actually ends up working. Because it goes into exile because of Feather first before going in, I believe. Our next rare. Another God Eternal Catcher. Sweet. This is probably one of my favourite ones, although the blue one's kind of insane. Next pack. Teo. Mr. Teo. Next rare. Soul Diviner. So for a blue and a black, you get a 2/3. It's a zombie wizard. Tap it, remove a counter from an artifact, creature, or land, or planeswalker you control. Draw a card. Excellent. Flux Channel. This artwork for Unlucky Eight is insane. Vivian's Arcbow. So for 1 and a green, you get a legendary artifact. X and tap and discard a card. Look at the top X cards of your library. You may put a creature card with converted mana cost X or less from among them onto the battlefield. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. This is really sweet. That's how you can cast your physical flips from the library, guys. Next. Nissa, who shakes the world. So for 3 green, you get a legendary Planeswalker Nissa. Has 5 loyalty. Whenever you tap a forest for mana, add an additional green. +1, put 3 +1/+1 counters on up to 1 target non-creature land you control. Untap it, it becomes a 0/0 elemental creature with vigilance and haste that's still on land. And for -8, you get an emblem. Lands you control have indestructible. Search your library for any number of forest cards, put them onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle your library. Next rare. Storev, Devkaran Lich. So for 1 black green, get a legendary creature, zombie elf wizard. It has trample. It's a 5/4. Whenever Storev Devkaran Lich deals combat damage to a player or planeswalker, return to your hand target creature or planeswalker card in your graveyard that wasn't put there this combat. Keyword this combat, so you can kill sacrifice things on main phase, swing with Storev, get that thing back. I actually had a turn where I did something similar, where I sacrificed a Herald of the Dreadhorde in Limited. I did it during my main phase, swung with Storev, got the Herald back, replayed the Herald. It was good times all around. Dovin and Vraska. This is going to be sweet in control, I think. And we got Sorin, Vengeful Bloodlord. So for 2 white-black, you get a legendary Planeswalker Sorin. As long as it's your turn, creatures and Planeswalkers you control have lifelink. +2, Sorin, Vengeful Bloodlord deals 1 damage to target player or Planeswalker. -X, return target creature card with converted mana cost X from your graveyard to the battlefield. That creature is a vampire in addition to its other types. Very good. I had a sort of an Abzan list in my first event of my pre-release. I had Sorin, I had Kaya, I had Ajani, Obnixilis, and I think I had the Wanderer as well in that list. It was very strong. And I had turns where I just did gross things with a bunch of Planeswalkers. Cruel Celebrant, so happy to get another Blood Artist in that can actually swing. Alright, next rare. Command the Dreadhorde. I'm not going to read that one again. Next. Alright, next rare. Silent Submarine. So for 2 blue, you get an artifact vehicle. Whenever Submarine deals combat damage to a player or Planeswalker, draw a card, and you get crew it for 2. Narset is sweet. Leyline Prowl is a weird bit of design, but I like it. Next rare. Ravnica at War. So for 3 and a white, it's a sorcery. Exile all multicolored permanents. This is very sweet and Theatre Giant. We actually locked a team out of doing something that would have changed the game for them, because I managed to cast a Godpharaoh's statue on 6. Next rare. Time Wipe. So for 2 and double white and a blue, get a sorcery, return a creature you control to its owner's hand, then destroy all creatures. Very, very sweet in control, because it allows you to play a threat. Kismina is probably the best Planeswalker in Limited, I think. Maybe Obnixilis is a close second. But I think Hasmina is by far like the best one. Awakening of Vitu-Ghazi. I won't read that one again. Invade the City, which I think could go into Is It Drake's? As our next rare. Fibblethip the Lost. So for 1 and a blue, you get a legendary creature, Homunculus. He's a 1/1. When Fibblethip the Lost enters the battlefield, draw a card. If it entered from your library or was cast from your library, draw 2 cards instead. When Fibblethip becomes the target of a spell, shuffle Fibblethip into its owner's library. So, Vivian's Arkbow, Vanifar, Neoform. There's so many cool ways you can sort of build like a blue-green pod-esque deck, which I think could be really cool. And you sort of just go up the chain of like just value creatures. Teo, Dovin, rare. Soul Diviner, I'm not going to read that one again. Davriel, Sunblade Angel, rare. Finale of Devastation. So for X green, you get a sorcery. Search your library and graveyard for a creature card with converted mana cost X or less and put it onto the battlefield. Then shuffle your library. If X is 10 or more, creatures you control gain +X and gain haste until end of turn. Woo-wee! That's a big one. It's Green Sun Zenith? or Genesis Wave. Angrath. Sometimes great. Casualties of War. I'm not going to read that one again either. Augur of Bolas. I like this new Augur of Bolas. I'd actually probably more so than the original. And a rare. Roll reverse. So for 2 blue and a red, you get a sorcery. Exchange control of 2 target permanents that share a permanent type. There are some shenanigans you can pull with this. I will say that. There are some weird shenanigans. And a rare. Soul Blaze. Not going to read that one again. Kiora. I think this might have a place in that Vannifar deck as well. Being able to untap, like, say, Vannifar or Vivian's Arcbow, and then just getting value out of it. The fact that it's 3 mana and starts with 7 loyalty is insane. And a rare. Dreadhorde Butcher. So for black and a red, you get a creature zombie warrior. It's a 1/1 with haste. Whenever Dreadhorde Butcher deals combat damage to a player or planeswalker, put a +1/+1 counter on Dreadhorde Butcher. When Dreadhorde Butcher dies, it deals damage equal to its power to any target. Bolt Bend, an uncommon. Oath of Kaya. So for 1, a black and a white, you get a legendary enchantment. When Oath of Kaya enters the battlefield, it deals 3 damage to any target and you gain 3 life. Whenever an opponent attacks a planeswalker you control with 1 or more creatures, Oath of Kaya deals 2 damage to that player and you gain 2 life. Krenko, Tin Streak Kingpin. So for 2 and a red, you get a legendary creature goblin. It's a 1/2. Whenever Krenko Tin Streak Kingpin attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on it. Then create a number of +1/1 red goblin creature tokens equal to Krenko's power. That's really sweet because you can attack with the trigger on the stack. You pump it, put the counter on it, and you get that many goblins. Sorry, not zombies. Had zombies on the brain lately. Tasmania Jaya. Mythic Rare Wildcard. Samut. Death Sprout. Next rare. Bolas's Citadel. So for 3, black, you get a legendary artifact. You may look at the top card of your library at any time. You may play the top card of your library. If you cast a spell this way, play life equal to its converted mana cost, rather than pay its mana cost and tap and sacrifice 10 non-land permanents, which can include the Citadel. Each opponent loses 10 life. Fibblethip. Not going to read him again. Next one. Tomic. I'm not going to read him again. Very wild card. This is really sweet. I've already seen people try and her in sideboards for a bunch of different lists, both in standard and modern, actually. Next. Time Wipe. Not going to read that one again either. Vivian Arcbow. Not going to read that one again either. Waking of Vitugazi. I'm so sorry that a bunch of these cards I've already seen. Ashiok. Very, very good. If you happen to get one late and limited, take one. Because you'd be surprised at how quick 4 cards goes if they don't answer. 20 cards out of your 40. That's half of your deck and limited, my friends. Evolution Stage is very good. I think this could see standard play. Plain and White Celebration. So for 5 green, you get a sorcery. Choose 4, then you may choose the same mode more than once. Create a 2/2 citizen creature token that's all colors. Return target permanent card from your graveyard to your hand. Proliferate, gain 4 life. And you can choose those same modes more than once. Key. That's one there again. Awakening of Vitu-Ghazi. Bond of Discipline. Widespread Brutality. So for 1, a black and double red, you get a sorcery, amass 2. Then the army you amassed deals damage equal to its power to each non-army creature. Last pack. Massacre Girl. I love this artwork. I kind of want this piece for my room. So, Massacre Girl is 3 black. You get a legendary creature, Human Assassin. She's a 4/4 with Menace. When Massacre Girl enters the battlefield, each other creature gets -1/-1 until end of turn. Whenever a creature dies this turn, each creature other than Massacre Girl gets -1/-1 until end of turn. The main reason why they made these 2 separate triggers is she enters the battlefield, does the 1/1s as many times as she can. Then, if you happen to have another kill spell in hand, you can continue the chain if you've got it. And that was our last pack. Thank you very much, guys, for watching. This has been Elspeth of the Planeswalker Pantheon. If you like what you've seen, please follow us on the Facebook group, the Planeswalker Pantheon. You'll see us putting some sort of content out there every day. Subscribe to the channel. Spread the word if you like what we do. Thanks, guys.